Gene always said, I don't think about legacy. I just hope people remember me as someone who tried to do good work.
The passing of Oscar award-winning actor Gene Hackman sent shockwaves around the world. Hackman, known for his immense dedication and talent to his craft, was found lying lifeless beside his wife in their Santa Fe home. However, the mysterious air surrounding their passing kept fans wondering what could have caused it, leaving fans and investigators puzzled. What could have brought about the famous actor's death? Did he try to tell us something before he passed? Join us as we dive into Gene Hackman's final 911 call. What he said will haunt you. Twist of fate. Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman and his wife were thought to have been dead for quite some time when the couple and their dog were found at their home in the U.S. state of New Mexico, police say. Hackman, 95, was discovered in a side room near the kitchen of the house in Santa Fe, while his wife, Betsy Arakawa, a 65-year-old classical pianist, was found in a bathroom. Whilst authorities reported that there were no signs of injury, they deemed the deaths suspicious enough to investigate and have not ruled out foul play. No cause of death was given. 3 of Hackman's children from a previous marriage confirmed the devastating news to fans all over the world when they announced the death of their father and Ms. Arakawa in a statement to the BBC. They recalled their father as being loved and admired by millions around the world for his brilliant acting career, but then to them, he was always just dad and grandpa. They noted that they will miss him sorely and were devastated by the loss. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office also confirmed the deaths. In a release statement, the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office stated that on February 26, 2025, at approximately 1:45 in the afternoon, Santa Fe County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to an address on Old Sunset Trail in Hyde Park, where Gene Hackman, his wife Betsy Arakawa, and a dog were found. In a news conference on Thursday afternoon, Sheriff Aden Mendoza said that it sounded like they had been deceased for quite a while, and he did not want to guess about how long that was. One of the sheriff's detectives who responded to the scene said that they believed the couple had been dead for some time because of the decomposition and mummification in the hands and feet of Ms. Arakawa. The search warrant also showed that the male decedent also showed obvious signs of death, similar and consistent with the female decedent. Near Ms. Arakawa's head, they found a portable heater, which the detective determined could have been brought down in the event that she abruptly fell to the ground. Authorities say that they have requested carbon monoxide and toxicology tests for both Hackman and his wife, and that a cause of death has not yet been determined as they await the results of the autopsy. A prescription bottle and scattered pills were on the bathroom countertop close to her body. The couple's German Shepherd dog was found dead in a bathroom closet near Ms. Arakawa. Hackman was discovered wearing gray tracksuit bottoms, a blue long-sleeve t-shirt, and brown slippers. Sunglasses and a walking cane were next to the body. The detective suspected that the actor had fallen suddenly. The circumstances of their death were suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation because the person who called emergency services found the front door of the property open, according to the search warrant. But the detective observed no sign of forced entry into the home. Nothing appeared out of place inside. Neither was there any indication that belongings had been rummaged through or that any items had been removed. 2 other healthy dogs were discovered roaming the property, one inside and one outside. Although nothing has been found so far, what do professionals think could have caused the demise of Gene Hackman and his beloved wife? Leave it to the experts. The investigation into the deaths of legendary actor Gene Hackman, his wife, Betsy Arakawa, and one of their 3 dogs remains ongoing after they were found dead on February 26th. There remain many questions surrounding the circumstances surrounding their deaths. But earlier this week, the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office issued an update based on the New Mexico Gas Company's extensive investigation for gas leaks and carbon monoxide at Gene Hackman's home, ruling out one cause of their demise. According to the Sheriff's Office, there were no significant findings. While a gas leak as the cause of demise appears to have been ruled out, 3 more causes of demise were posited by James Gill, Chief Medical Examiner, with the Connecticut Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. It is important to note that Gill is not investigating Hackman's death in his professional capacity, but he believes both died from natural causes. Gill notes that from the initial circumstances, it seemed like the award-winning actor might have collapsed. This, to him, is not strange, as Hackman had a history of heart disease. He got around by using a pacemaker, so that would not be unusual. However, what struck Gill as odd is the fact that his wife also collapsed. It raises the question of why she collapsed. Gill suggested another possibility that Betsy died first and that Gene found her and was going out to get help or get his phone, and he then collapsed from the stress of that too. Just as likely. He's older. He's got known heart disease. However, he's hoping that the autopsy reveals whether she also suffered from heart disease, cancer, or any other health-related issue. Gill highlights that suddenly finding your loved one dead on the floor can increase your adrenaline, and that could stimulate one's heart to beat faster, and that can put the heart into an irregular rhythm. In the final theory, Gill suggested that after finding a loved one dead, people get very despondent, and they do something to take their own life, and that may be with pills or whatever else. I think the toxicology workup will be helpful in excluding causes such as intoxication or injuries. The toxicology report is expected to take several weeks. Hackman's passing might have thrown the movie world into mourning, but his life and career are worth celebrating. How did his career take off? The takeoff. 1956 was the year Hackman began pursuing an acting career. It was the year he joined the Pasadena Playhouse in California, where he befriended another aspiring actor, Dustin Hoffman. The duo were seen as outsiders by their classmates, and so both men were voted the least likely to succeed. Hackman also got the lowest score the Pasadena Playhouse had yet given. Determined to prove them wrong, Hackman moved to New York City. A 2004 article in Vanity Fair described Hackman, Hoffman, and Robert Duvall as struggling California-born actors and close friends, sharing New York apartments in various two-person combinations in the 1960s. To support himself between acting jobs, Hackman began working at a Howard Johnson's restaurant when he encountered an instructor from the Pasadena Playhouse. This meeting turned out to be significant, as the instructor said a few harsh words to the young, burgeoning actor. The instructor noted that the job he was working on proved that Hackman wouldn't amount to anything. A Marine officer who saw him as a doorman even noted that he looked sorry. All of this just served to motivate Hackman, who said that it was more psychological warfare because he wasn't going to let those people get him down. He insisted to himself that he would continue to do whatever it took to get a job. It was like him against them, and in some way, unfortunately, that feeling never left. He even noted that if anyone is really interested in acting, there is a part of them that relishes the struggle. Hackman got various bit roles, for example, in the film Mad Dog Call, and on multiple television series, such as Tallahassee 7000, The United States Steel Hour, Route 66, Naked City, The Defenders, The DuPont Show of the Week, East Side and West Side, and Brenner. In 1963, he made his Broadway debut in Children from Their Games, which had only a short run, as did A Rainy Day in Newark. However, Any Wednesday with actress Sandy Dennis was a huge Broadway success in 1964. This opened the door to film work. His first credited role was in Lilith, with Gene Seberg and Warren Beatty in the leading roles. Hackman was nominated for a second Best Supporting Actor Academy Award for his role in I Never Sang for My Father, 1970. He starred in Doctor's Wives, 1971, and The Hunting Party, 1971, then won the Academy Award for Best Actor for his performance as New York City detective Jimmy Popeye Doyle in The French Connection, 1971, marking his graduation to stardom. After The French Connection, Hackman starred in 10 films, not including his cameo in Young Frankenstein over the next 3 years, making him the most prolific actor in Hollywood during that time frame. He followed The French Connection with leading roles in Cisco Pike, 1972, Prime Cut, 1972, The Poseidon Adventure, 1972, and Scarecrow, 1973, alongside Al Pacino, which was Hackman's favorite role of his career and won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, and Francis Ford Coppola's The Conversation, which was nominated for several Oscars and also won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes. Given his stellar career, it was only normal that he would try to get away from the limelight. How did he live his life in Santa Fe, outside the limelight? Gene Hackman was a normal person in Santa Fe, and he really loved that. Residents in New Mexico City say they were excited to welcome such a massive celebrity to the community when he and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, arrived more than 20 years ago, but they treated him like anyone else. "He wasn't famous here," was the phrase most popularly heard when residents were asked about why the movie star chose to call New Mexico's capital home. They described him as a down-to-earth, chatty man who supported local businesses and enjoyed the city's flourishing art scene. Everyone in the community has a story to tell about Hackman, the deceased star. Hackman was a lover of the arts and a painter himself, so he fit in well. Santa Fe is known for its iconic adobe architecture and is home to more than 250 galleries. Everything in Santa Fe is colorful, from the woven tapestry hanging on shop walls to the clothes people wear and even their personalities. There are murals in almost every alley and metal street art lining the roads. Hackman immediately got involved with local art museums, most notably sitting on the board of directors at the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum, while Arakawa had a luxury home goods store and collaborated with artists on various projects. Hackman's paintings are displayed prominently at local restaurants, and there are a few lucky residents who have them hanging in their homes. One of those people is Stuart Ashman, the executive director of the Artes de Cuba Gallery. Mr. Ashman first met Hackman at a community arts meeting. He was running late, and there was one seat left when he arrived, next to the Hollywood star. They shook hands, and that started 2 decades of friendship. Mr. Ashman said that the Hollywood star was so down-to-earth that one would not realize that they were talking to a celebrity. He was more interested in hearing from others than in telling them about himself. While both men supported the art community, their real bond came through Pilates workouts when they took back-to-back private lessons. When asked who was better, Mr. Ashman laughed, noting that both were pretty bad. He noted that their teacher said he was lazy, whilst Hackman was older and stiffer. Mr. Ashman said Hackman often got in trouble for being too much of a chatterbox, recalling how their Pilates teacher would ask if he was going to work out or just want to talk to Stuart today. Every week, Mr. Ashman, who raised chickens, would bring a dozen eggs to Hackman. Then, one day, he showed up with a huge landscape painting as repayment to Mr. Ashman, who didn't want to accept it. But Hackman insisted and said a painting for eggs is a very fair deal. When Hackman wasn't at Pilates or riding his bike through the beautiful landscape, he loved to spend time at his home in the hills above the city, his friends said. Perched on a 12-acre plot, the property has panoramic views of the surrounding mountains, with vistas stretching as far as Colorado. Hackman purchased the home in the 1980s before starting expansive renovations. He wanted this home to have meaning, so he worked with an architect to blend Pueblo, colonial, and Spanish Baroque architectural styles to pay homage to Santa Fe's rich cultural history. Arakawa also enjoyed her secluded life in Santa Fe. People I spoke to said she was a talented pianist and a smart businesswoman. The only person who liked working out more than Hackman was Betsy. They said she was in incredible shape, always attending exercise classes. Though Hackman was an active member of the community for most of his post-Hollywood years, he became much more isolated after COVID-19 lockdowns, locals said. Those who knew him speculated his health and age made mobility too difficult for him to wander down the hill into town. But everyone still had a story about Hackman. James Roybal, a native of Santa Fe, once signed up for a pastel painting class in the 1980s. And when he arrived, Hackman was also there. They painted next to each other for a bit, making small talk. Mr. Roybal couldn't believe the celebrity would want to be there. He took a picture from a ways back because he didn't think anyone would believe him. He still boasts about the image. Victoria Murphy, a real estate agent and actress, saw him around town on several occasions. She recalled that he was in the middle of the street as she was crossing in the crosswalk, and he started to go through the stop sign at that time. And then suddenly she saw he stopped, waved, smiled, and held up both hands like in a surrender. She also recalled that she just smiled and kept going. At a local restaurant in town, customers told me they'd seen him at the grocery store or shopping on the high street. David, the general manager of a shop in downtown Santa Fe where Hackman was a longtime patron, was holding back tears, remembering his friend and client. According to David, since he lived here, he wanted to use his money towards the local people. He always bought Seiko watches from my store for his friends and family. He invested in local restaurants and grocery stores and showed up to openings for art museums. It obviously wasn't because he needed the money, but because he loved the local flair, he said. We lost a great Santa Fe. What do you think of the circumstances surrounding his death? Do you think it is worthy of an investigation? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.